Hey YouTube, it is Mark coming to you with some important financial information today as it relates to your favorite cruise line and how you can save money along the way. Stick around. Many cruisers that I talk to don't realize that there is something called a shareholder benefit. By owning stock in your favorite cruise line, you can actually earn up to $250 in onboard credit when you submit the necessary information to your cruise line ahead of time. The amount is going to vary based on the length of your sailing. So when we took our Panama Canal sailing and it was 16 glorious days through the Panama Canal, we received $250 of onboard credit. Any sailing 14 days or more is going to receive that max. If you sail 7 to 13 days, you'll receive $100 of onboard credit. That used to be enough to cover the gratuities for a person in the stateroom. Now it's just a little shy of the $112 a week sailing it'll cost you on Carnival. And then if you sail less than 7 days, so 6 days or less, it's a $50 onboard credit. So regardless of the length of your sailing, you qualify for onboard credit. You qualify for free funds. Don't let those go untaken. Now, you might be wondering, how much is this going to cost me? It sounds a little too good to be true. Yes, you do have to be a shareholder in Carnival Corporation. At today's ticker price of $10.01, it would cost you a grand total of $1,001. Now that might be worth it to you, depending on your cruise schedule. When I bought into my 100 shares, the stock price was at $45. As you can tell, it dropped a bit. But in the time that I've been sailing, I've received nearly $4,000 of onboard credits. Now, my sailing schedule might look a little bit different than yours, but point being is I've almost paid for my entirety of those shares just through the onboard credits that I've received with my cruises. Now, in order to request this credit, there's a couple of key things that you have to keep in mind. First and foremost, you have to submit this information 4 weeks prior to your sailing. You'll have to prove that you are a shareholder to Carnival. Now, the good news is it's gotten so much easier over the years. Before, I used to have to fax things with a cover sheet and all this other stuff. Now you can actually just email shareholder benefits with the information that they require. So they require a copy of your most recent statement that proves you're a shareholder. Now, when I submit mine, I always redact account information, and if I own shares in other stocks, the cruise line doesn't need to know all of my financial information, but I do need to make sure that it shows my name, my full name, that matches the sailing or the booking. It proves that I own at least 100 shares of Carnival stock. In addition, in the email, you need to include the ship name, the embarkation date, the date you're sailing, as well as the port of call that you are leaving from. So you'll submit all of that information. It is important to note, so Rocky also is a shareholder in Carnival Cruise Lines, but only one shareholder credit applies per stateroom. So we can't double up, unfortunately, but that's okay. We both enjoy the benefits when we sail individually. Additionally, it is important to note that this offer is not valid with free sailings. So for all of my casino friends out there that are sailing at significantly reduced rates or free rates, the shareholder credit is not valid with those sailings. With that said, it is valid with your VIFP promotions and other offers. Your mileage may vary. We've heard feedback from some where it was denied. What I always recommend doing, if it was denied and you truly believe that it wasn't a free sailing or a significantly reduced rate, give the shareholder line a call. Again, I'm going to post a one-pager in the comments as well as this kind of visual here on the screen that's going to include the phone numbers, email addresses, all of that information. And if you want to fax it, it's going to include that as well. Now, it is important to keep in mind that this benefit is for Carnival Corporation. So it applies to all of Carnival Corporation's cruise brands, including, of course, Carnival namesake, Carnival Cruise Lines, Princess Cruise Lines, Seabourn, P&O, AIDA, Cunard, Costa. The email address or phone number might look a little bit different, but again, refer to the one-pager. A couple of other disclaimers to keep in mind. Carnival employees, I'm sorry, you are not eligible for this. If you are booking as a travel agent, you also are not eligible for this benefit. Now, it is important to note that Carnival just released their 2022 annual report that extended the shareholder benefit for another year, so that is great. Bookings must be made by February 28th, 2024 to be eligible for this benefit, and you must sail by July 31st, 2024. Now, fingers crossed, they'll extend the benefit once again during their next annual report, but we watch each year to see, and so far, since 2015, they've kept the benefit consistent. I'd love, Carnival, if you're watching, I'd love to see it raise a little bit more in 2024, but we'll see. The one other thing that I do want to make mention of is some folks have said, hey, this benefit doesn't cover gratuities. Carnival actually says on the statement documents it doesn't go toward gratuities. With that said, over the 40 cruises that I've used it on, I've used it toward gratuities, I've used it to shore excursions, I've used it to a variety of onboard expenses. So again, your mileage may vary, not tax professionals. Please keep in mind, we are not investment professionals. All of those investments are at your own risk. Finally, your onboard credit cannot be redeemed for cash, unfortunately. So you can't get on the ship and say, hey, just cash me and I'll take my $100. It does have to be used toward shore excursions, onboard dining, expenses, and those sorts of things. Now, despite what the fancy glasses might say, we here at This Cruise Life are not financial experts. We are not investment advisors. What we are is we are vacation experts, and we have a blast on our cruises. And so we want to make sure that on your next cruise, you're not leaving money on the table. So go ahead, get those shareholder benefits, make sure that you remember to submit them 4 weeks in advance, all of the required information that you need, and enjoy your vacation wherever it is, whether it's the Caribbean, Alaska, if it's in Barcelona with us on the Venezia. We hope that you have an amazing time, and we hope that you love this tip. If you'd like more of these, go ahead and make sure that you hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave us a comment below. We love hearing from you, and until next time,